Hello, my name is Ilse Thijs. I'm a student at Saxion University, and for the project Creative Technology, I have created an interactive and responsive infographic by making use of the GreenSock animation platform. So first we see a preloader before the rest of the website is shown. The website is about some facts about Norway. Here we see a count up animation. And if we scroll down, we see this climber. He needs the help of the user to get to the top. So you can click on it and get it here. When it's in the right area, you see a white border, so you know it's on the right position, and you can drop it. If you drop it here, it will go back to the starting position. On the right side, we see two bears. If you hover over them, they are moving, so they're kind of cheersing. We see the word trigger and we see the word start. When the trigger reaches the start point, the bird will fly from the left to the right side. And if we go back, the bird is going back as well. Down here we see this Eskimo. When you hover over it, you hear a pretty annoying sound, like this. The infographic is also responsive. I will talk about that later in the video. First you need to link GreenSock into your HTML file. You can go to the GreenSock website and click on Download GSAP. Now you can copy the script tag and paste it into your HTML file. Now we can go to our JavaScript file and start tweening. We can use a tween light or a tween max. A tween max is way more advanced than a tween light. If we want to create multiple animations, we use a timeline light or a timeline max. The second development step is about how to add a preloader. I divided this step into two sub-steps. First, I needed to create a script that is being shown before the rest of the content becomes visible. The next step is to design the preloader itself. So this is a script that has been shown before the rest of the website is shown. If we go to my HTML file, we see the class preloader and we see the class background. In the class background, the rest of the website is written. If we go to my main.js, we see when the document is ready, function preloader will start. And the function preloader will first show the class preloader with a delay of 5000. And when it's done, it will hide. And when it's hidden, the class background is shown. So the red square, I set it to an X position of -100 and I tweened it to an X position of 0. The duration of this tween is 2 and I didn't give it a delay. So first I created the variables duration and display time. Then I created a new timeline. The timeline is going from to. So this means the class population is going from opacity 0 to opacity 1. And when that's done, the class age will do the same. The next interactive thing that the user needs to do is to help the climber to get to the top. You see that the white border is shown when the climber is on the right position. When you drop it here, it will go back to the starting position. I will show you how I did this. So this is my HTML file. This part is for the click and drop function. The two main important classes are the class drop and the class drop area. First I created these variables. This one is calling the drop class and this one is calling the drop idea from the HTML. Then I've created a draggable event. This means when the user is dragging, this function will start and this function will do the next. When the overlap is more than 50%, the class will get a border, and else the border will be removed. So here we see the question, how much % of Norway is mountain? So the user needs to click on find out to get the count up animation started. So this is my code for the count up animation. It's quite simple actually. I created this variable counter which starts with 0, and I created the variable tall which get the element tall, and the variable button that gets the element by idea start. When the button is clicked, this function will start, and in this function there's this tween with a duration of 5. It will go from the counter, like the variable counter will go from 0 to 44. And that's actually it. The next step is to create a movement when the user hovers over an image. If we hover over this one, it will go to the left. If you hover over the left here, it will go to the right. So this is the code for the cheer scene. First, I will explain the left one. First, I created a new timeline light. This one is paused, so when the user is not doing anything, the image will not do anything either. So the image beer left will go in a duration of 0.3 seconds, will move his X position plus 50. This timeline is working when the mouse is entering. You can see when mouse enters, function timeline left will play. And we can also see when the mouse leaves, the function timeline left will reverse, so it will go back to the starting position. And I did actually the same with the right image. So development step 7 is about how to create a morphing animation. I didn't process this one into my final product, but I will explain to you how it works. So we're in Adobe Illustrator and we have 2 layers, this one and that one. Now we have to receive our SVG code. You just save it as SVG and then save. And then here, if we click here, we have to copy this part. The next thing you need to do is to tween the idea start to the idea end and give it like a duration or an ease or anything. And yeah, you have to have the plugin, the morphing plugin. This is called scroll magic. When you scroll down, something will happen. In this case, the bird is flying from the left side of the screen to the right side of the screen. This is the script for the scroll magic. So we have a function scroll magic that is showing the idea scroll magic, and then I created a new controller, like a scroll magic controller, and here we have a variable that is creating a new tween, and what this tween does is moving the image with a duration of 3 seconds to an X position of 1000. It also has an ease to make everything a bit more smooth. And the next thing I'm doing is I'm creating a new scroll magic scene and I'm defining the trigger element. So I've created this timeline light and it's paused, so when you don't do anything, the code won't do anything either. What will this timeline do? So the idea blue will go with a duration of 0.3. It will change the background color to this code, which will be black, and it has an ease, so you can see it will smooth out a bit eased. And when the mouse enters, the timeline color will play. When the mouse leaves, the timeline will reverse, so it will go back to blue. The first thing I did to create responsive content is to add media queries. It says when the screen is smaller than 480 pixels, the CSS that's below will be applied. So for example, When the screen is smaller, the background color will change to this color. I'll make it smaller and the background color changed. The other thing that I did is to make use of persons instead of pixels. For example, this width, it's not 100 pixels, but 100%. But if I said it was 50%, it'd always be the half of the size of the screen. This is the final product, and when you hover over the Eskimo, you hear a pretty annoying sound. How did I do that? So let's go to my HTML file. Here we see everything that we need for the Eskimo and the sound. In this script I added the sound. Here I created a div which contains the image of the Eskimo. So let's see JavaScript. And basically what I did, I've created this variable audio which contains the idea yay, which contains the annoying audio file. And then we have this function hover sound it's calling the idea hover sounds, and what it does, when the mouse enters, the function audio play will start. Thanks for watching.